Hey guys, Halina here, and today I'm going to be ranking the Halloween DCOMs, so stay tuned. If you guys hadn't noticed, I got a completely different backdrop over here, and that's because I got a new bed and it went out a lot further than I thought it did, and now there's no room where I used to film, so the closet is my backdrop now. But anyways, so with Halloween being just a little over a week away, I figured it would be fun to just rank the Halloween DCOMs. Now, before we start, I want to state that this list is based off of my personal preferences and is in no way an official ranking, so yeah, there's that. But also, it's going to be DCOMs that were promoted as Halloween DCOMs, so things like zombies and stuff like that won't be on the list. And the fact that it is DCOMs, Disney Channel original movies, so things like Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus will not be on the list as well. So, yeah, now that we've got that all out of the way, I also want to state that I will be giving like summaries of each of the movies, so there may be some spoilery things said, so yeah, go watch the Halloween DCOMs and then come back, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, let's just get to it. So, at number 13, I have Invisible Sister. And this movie takes place during Halloween. But it really doesn't have that Halloween vibe to it. Like, I mean, literally the whole premise of the movie is the fact that Cleo creates a high school science project, and it ends up turning her older sister invisible, and then like she and her friends have to like work against the clock to figure out like a cure to, you know, make her visible again. Yeah, really honestly the only thing signifying that it's Halloween is the fact that they are wearing Halloween costumes at school. Overall, it's a fine movie, but since it is a list of Halloween DCOMs and this one does not have that Halloween feel to it, it's at the bottom of the list. Coming in at number 12, I have Under Wraps. Yeah. Basically, 3 preteens accidentally sent a mummy free, and then they go on an adventure to return him to his sarcophagus by midnight on Halloween so that he doesn't turn into dust and lose his only opportunity of reuniting with his love. Look, it's the first DCOM, so I'll give them that. But just because it's the first doesn't mean that it's the best. It's really a bizarre, almost mediocre movie that really doesn't make much sense. Like, there's some fun bits in it, but overall it's just there. At number 11, I have Twitches 2. The second one, the sequel. I mean, there's not much to say about it. I mean, basically, the twins are going on a quest to figure out if their father is actually alive in the Shadowlands. And then there's a wedding. Look, I literally just got done watching it for this video, and I can't even begin to tell you what happens in this movie. So, yeah, I mean, that pretty much signifies everything. Like, I mean, like, there's fun bits, I guess. I don't remember. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. At number 10, I have the Scream Team. So, in the Scream Team, a man and his 2 kids return home to a small town after his father dies, and he just wants to quickly sell his father's hardware store and the house and everything and just be done with it, and they can go back to their lives in Boston. But ultimately, the kids discover that their grandfather's spirit never reached the ghost depot and therefore hasn't reached the other side. And they learn that his spirit was stolen by a ghost named Zachariah, who is stealing spirits to gather power so that he can get his revenge on the town. Yeah, does that sound bizarre? It is. It is very bizarre. It is a very bizarre movie. Filled with a lot of actually pretty good moments, but not enough to actually hold the movie together. And so the movie just kind of meh. It's not bad, but it's not good. Like, it's kind of in that middle ground that it just sort of exists. So, yeah, Scream Team is at number 10. At number 9, I have Return to Halloweentown. Oh boy, it pains me to have a Halloweentown movie so low on this list, but it has to be. Like, it's the 4th installment of the Halloweentown series. And the final one. And it shows. Basically, Marnie and her brother Dylan have graduated high school and are now attending Witch University in Halloweentown. Shenanigans happen. Honestly, this movie has so many things working against it. But the biggest one of all was they recast Kimberly J. Brown in the main role of Marnie. Like, look, I love Sarah Paxton, I do, but Kimberly J. Brown brought something magical to the first 3 Halloweentown movies. And that magic just wasn't there in the 4th one. I don't know, guys. There was something off about this whole movie, and, you know, I want to put a big chunk of the blame on the recasting, but just, like, the whole movie, like, as a whole, like, it was weird. Like, I mean, okay, I guess the plot was okay, I guess, but just, I think the main thing with Return to Halloweentown is it was unnecessary. Like, it didn't add anything to the other 3. It didn't take away anything from the other 3. I think in many ways Return to Halloweentown would have served best as sort of a prequel, because we kind of dive into the past a little bit, and I think if they had just kind of made the whole movie like a prequel focusing on that bit of the past, it could have been saved. But just, there was so much and nothing at all happening in this movie, if that makes any sense. And it probably just honestly shouldn't have existed. Like, it probably should have just ended with Halloweentown High and been done with it. But, nope, we got a 4th one. Yeah. At number 8, I have Twitches. Now, imagine discovering that you are a twin, that you are also a witch, and that you have a whole secret magic kingdom. That's the plot of Twitches, and it's a fun idea. I mean, it's a really fun idea, but I think execution-wise, they didn't nail it like they could have, I don't think. Yeah, basically, the twin witches, Alex and Cameron, are reunited for the first time since their birth on their 21st birthday, and they have to use their magic that they didn't know they had for the last 21 years to save their mother and their kingdom from the darkness. Yeah, it's better than its sequel. It's more memorable than its sequel. But like I said, I think they kind of failed a little bit on the execution a little bit. I think they could have nailed it just a little bit better. But that's just me. Coming in at number 7, though, is Don't Look Under the Bed. Oh my goodness, this movie is terrifying. Yeah, definitely not meant for kids. It's definitely meant for an older audience. I would say preteens, maybe, and up. Like, it's definitely not a family-friendly Halloween movie. It's definitely not a fun, cheeky little Halloween movie like most of these on the list. It is downright terrifying. Basically, there's this teenage girl, and she enlists the help of her imaginary friend, or an imaginary friend. It's hers, though. To deal with this prank-playing boogeyman who is, like, framing her for all his, like, dastardly deeds and everything like that. Yeah, I haven't seen it too many times because I don't enjoy the creep factor at all. But, like I said, I've maybe 3 or 4 times I've seen it all the way through. Usually when it starts, I, like, change the channel and I'm like, I can't do this. But, despite all that, it actually is pretty good. Just not for me because I don't do the creepy stuff. And that may be also why it's so low on the list. But yeah, if you like a good like scare, especially around Halloween time, Don't Look Under the Bed is a really, really fun, creepy movie. That is really shocking that it came from Disney at all. But yeah. And number 6, I have Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. Now, arguably, this one could have been switched with Don't Look Under the Bed, but I personally enjoy this one more than Don't Look Under the Bed. We are back in family-friendly territory, though. Like, this one you can watch as a family. I mean, obviously take precautions because it is still a Halloween movie, and like all these movies on the list, there is a little bit of that like spooky element to it, but overall it's one of the tamer ones. Basically 2 kids get grounded, as they do, and of course their grounding is messing with their plans. So they set their mom up with this mysterious stranger, and it's their little brother who discovers that this man just might be a vampire. Their plans are ruined anyways, so I don't know what the point of any of that was. Because they have to go save their mother from this vampire that they set her up with. Like I said, it has the right amount of Halloween scare to it, but not, like, downright terrifying. So, yeah, number 6. At number 5, I have Phantom of the Megaplex. Oh boy, Phantom of the Megaplex brings back so many memories. Basically, there's this phantom that is haunting a megaplex. Basically doing all sorts of crazy things in different movie theaters and stuff like that, and they can't have this happening because there's a big premiere happening, and creepy stuff happening at a movie theater just is not going to sit right with everybody that's coming to this premiere. So they essentially have to find this phantom and stop him before he ruins everything. I mean, look, I think it's more the nostalgia factor with this one more than anything, but I really do love this movie. Yeah. At number 4, I have Girl vs. Monster. This one, definitely a newer one. Yeah, basically when a teenage girl accidentally releases some monsters from a secret containment chamber, she learns that her parents are actually monster hunters, and basically now she and her friends have to like find these monsters and recapture them before the monsters take revenge on her parents. This one was a tricky one to place though, because there's a part of me that wanted to put it higher because it really is a good fun movie with a great soundtrack to accompany it. But then there's another part of me that wanted to put it lower because there's just some parts that feel a little odd, like it's sort of this odd situation happening. Somebody's mowing their lawn and my dog's going crazy. I don't know, but I felt like 4th on the list was fine because why not? At number 3, I have Halloweentown High. So, this is the 3rd Halloweentown movie. And basically it explores what happens when Marnie and her friends from Halloweentown want to attend high school in the mortal community. Because what could go wrong with that? And they're basically accompanied by Grandma Aggie, who is probably my favorite character out of the whole series. They head into the mortal world, they attend high school, but there is a stipulation that if any danger happens because of them, they will lose their magical abilities. So, yeah, when you basically add in a Knight of the Iron Dagger who is determined to wipe them out, obviously things aren't going to go smoothly, but it really is a fun, classic movie full of hijinks and amusement. Yeah, it's number 3 on the list. Coming in at number 2. You know which ones are my top 3 by process of elimination, but coming in at number 2, I have Halloweentown II. Calabar's Revenge. So, what happens when the child of your enemy is setting out to turn the magical Halloweentown into a gray, dreary version of the real world? I feel like that's what we're living in now. While transforming the humans of the real world into monsters? I mean, literally, that is the plot of Halloweentown 2. It's a fun movie. Like, this movie is actually really fun. And I almost put it at the number 1 spot, but I couldn't do it. I mean, it has the makings to beat the original, and many argue that it does. And, you know, it's the rare case where the sequel is better than the original, but I don't know. My love for the original has me putting this fantastic sequel at number 2. But my all-time favorite Halloween DCOM is Halloweentown itself. Yeah, Grandma Aggie wants to begin Marnie's witch training before her 13th birthday. I can't speak. Otherwise, she'll lose her powers forever. And of course, Marnie's mom, Gwen, is not for that. She wants her children to live normal lives in the mortal world with zero knowledge of their bloodline, essentially. And yeah, basically Marnie sees Grandma Aggie using magic, and then she, her brother Dylan and her sister Sophie sneak onto the return bus and end up in Halloweentown. Their mom essentially follows suit, and I mean, all these Cromwells in one place, of course we're gonna have some dark force attacking. And basically the dark force attacks Grandma Aggie and Mom Gwen. So it's up to the 3 siblings that literally just kind of learned that they had magic to save them. It's just, Halloweentown is such a fun, family-friendly movie. Like, I love it. It's like a tradition every year to watch Halloweentown and 2 and 3 and even return to Halloweentown, because once I commit, I commit. But I mean, I really do love Halloweentown. Like, I think Halloweentown is honestly my favorite, and I mean, obviously it's at number 1 for me, but yeah. So that is my personal preference ranking of Halloween DCOMs. But, you know, you can judge for yourself. All of the movies that I mentioned are on Disney Plus, except for Under Wraps, because Disney doesn't fully own it. Yeah, so we got kind of a Spider-Man situation happening over here. But, yeah, all of them are on Disney Plus, at least in Canada, except for Under Wraps. Yeah, so, go check them out and let me know what is your ranking. And I mean, if you don't want to go through all 13 of them, let me know your top 5. Let's go with 5. Top 5. I'm really curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are and where these movies fall for each particular person, because I feel like everybody's got different tastes. Yeah, so I'm really curious to hear everybody's thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my latest videos. Follow me on all the socials. The link is in the description down below, and I will see you all in another video. Bye, guys.